A new year, a new reality for Social Security beneficiaries. As we move toward January 1st, a date that may look ordinary on the calendar, millions of older Americans are about to experience one of the most significant shifts in Social Security procedures in more than a decade. And while these changes are designed to strengthen the system, protect beneficiaries, and modernize federal security standards, the truth is simple. If seniors do not act, their benefits could be delayed, disrupted, or even temporarily suspended. Tonight, we're breaking down exactly what this means for you, not in confusing government language, but with the clarity and respect every retiree, every disability recipient, and every survivor beneficiary deserves. Social Security is not a gift. It's not charity. It is earned income paid through decades of work, payroll taxes, and contribution to the American economy. And because of that, every senior deserves uninterrupted access to the benefits they've built over a lifetime. The Social Security Administration has issued a nationwide alert. New verification rules, new digital security procedures, and stricter documentation requirements all go into effect on January 1st. The clock is ticking, and those who prepare early will avoid the long lines, the phone delays, and the administrative headaches that often follow major federal changes. So in this first segment, we're setting the foundation, why this change matters, who it impacts most, and how it could permanently shape the future of Social Security access for older Americans. Why the January 1st rule change matters more than ever. For decades, Social Security has served as the financial backbone of retirement in America. But beginning January 1st, that foundation undergoes a structural shift, one that places greater emphasis on identity verification, fraud prevention, and modernized digital access. And while these goals are important, they also create new responsibilities that every beneficiary must understand. Let's be clear. The Social Security Administration is not simply updating a login page. What they are implementing is a comprehensive overhaul, one designed to protect billions of dollars in benefits from the rising threat of identity theft and digital fraud that specifically targets older Americans. In 2023 alone, scams involving Social Security impersonation rose to record levels, costing seniors hundreds of millions of dollars. The new rules are intended to stop that. But with stronger protections comes a stricter process. Beneficiaries who do not meet the new verification standards risk delays, suspended payments, or even the need to restart application procedures entirely. That is why this January 1st deadline is not optional, not flexible, and not something seniors can afford to ignore. For retirees who rely on Social Security as their primary income, often the difference between stability and hardship, any disruption can be devastating. And that's exactly why understanding the upcoming changes now, before the systems roll over at the start of the year, is essential. In the next part, we will move into the specific rule that affects every beneficiary, the mandatory transition to the new federal authentication platform. The mandatory shift to login.gov, what seniors must do. One of the most impactful changes taking effect on January 1st is the complete replacement of the old My Social Security login system. For years, beneficiaries accessed their accounts using a simple username and password, but that era is officially over. Beginning January 1st, every person who uses Social Security's online services must transition to the federal login.gov authentication platform. This is not a recommendation. It's not optional. It is a federal requirement. What does this mean for seniors? It means that if you check your payment history online, if you update your direct deposit information, if you request a replacement Social Security card, if you verify your COLA increase, if you manage anything related to your benefits digitally, then you must create and verify a login.gov account. This process requires a valid email address, a phone number capable of receiving calls or text messages, and government-issued identification such as a state ID or driver's license. For many older Americans who aren't accustomed to digital systems, this shift may feel overwhelming. But ignoring it is far more risky than learning it, because once the old system shuts down, anyone who has not created their login.gov profile will be locked out of their Social Security account, unable to access personal information or make crucial updates. And for those with upcoming benefit changes, like COLA adjustments, direct deposit updates, or disability documentation, being locked out could trigger delays that stretch for months. In the next section, we break down exactly how the verification process works and why completing it early is your best protection. Understanding the new identity verification process. As the Social Security Administration tightens its security framework, the identity verification process becomes the centerpiece of the January 1st rule change. This is the step that determines whether seniors remain fully connected to their benefits or face interruptions they never anticipated. The enhanced verification system requires more than just creating a login.gov account. Beneficiaries must prove their identity through a multi-layered authentication process designed specifically to prevent unauthorized individuals from accessing or redirecting Social Security payments. Here's what this entails. First, seniors must upload a valid government-issued photo ID, such as a driver's license, state ID, or U.S. passport. The system will scan and match the document to federal records. For those uncomfortable uploading documents online, the SSA now offers an in-person verification option at designated centers across the country. Second, the system requires a phone number capable of receiving verification codes. This added step prevents criminals from using stolen information to pose as a beneficiary. Third, certain users will be asked to complete knowledge-based verification, meaning they will answer questions derived from their credit or identity history, details that only the real person should know. While these steps may feel cumbersome, they were created with one purpose: protecting seniors from fraud, which has become increasingly sophisticated and increasingly targeted. Failing this verification not only blocks online access, it could delay COLA increases, prevent direct deposit changes, or in some cases, halt benefit delivery entirely. In the next part, we examine how these changes directly affect the 2025 cost of living adjustment and why acknowledging your COLA notice is now required. COLA 2025, a 2.5% increase with new mandatory acknowledgement. Every year, seniors wait for one of the most important numbers affecting their financial stability, the annual cost of living adjustment, or COLA. For 2025, Social Security recipients will receive a 2.5% increase designed to help keep pace with rising prices on essentials like food, medicine, utilities, and housing. But this year, there's a critical change. Beneficiaries must acknowledge the COLA notification through their verified online account or risk a delay in receiving the adjusted amount. This is unprecedented. In previous years, the increase was automatically applied with no action required, but under the January 1st rule change, seniors must confirm that they received the official communication from the SSA. This is part of the broader effort to verify identities and ensure benefits are being accessed only by the rightful recipient. For seniors who depend on their Social Security check to cover basic living expenses, even a small delay can create stress. A pharmacy bill doesn't wait, a heating invoice doesn't wait, and a 2.5% increase, while modest, can be meaningful during a time of nationwide inflation. The challenge, however, is that many older Americans still have not created their login.gov accounts, meaning they will not be able to complete this mandatory acknowledgement unless they act now. In the next section, we examine a rule that affects millions of retirees who continue working: the significantly stricter earnings reporting requirements. New earnings reporting rules, stricter deadlines, and higher risks. For millions of Americans who claim Social Security before reaching full retirement age but continue working, January 1st introduces one of the most consequential changes in years: the shift to mandatory quarterly earnings reporting. Under the old rules, seniors had flexibility. They could report earnings annually or whenever their income changed. But with fraud prevention and payment accuracy becoming a top priority, the SSA now requires quarterly on-time reporting for any beneficiary whose earnings exceed the allowable limit. That limit for 2025 is $23,400 for individuals under full retirement age. Here's why this matters. If a beneficiary earns above that threshold and fails to report it accurately and on time, the SSA may overpay them, an error that the agency will later demand be repaid, often creating a substantial financial burden. For seniors on fixed incomes, repayment obligations can be devastating. Even more troubling, repeated failure to report earnings under the new rule may trigger benefit suspensions or administrative reviews. In short, seniors can no longer afford to treat earnings reporting as a casual task. It has become a strict compliance requirement. The SSA's new digital system is designed to streamline reporting, but it requires access through login.gov, meaning those who neglect the transition risk missing deadlines entirely. In the next section, we explore another critical update: the tighter security and multi-step verification required for any changes to your direct deposit information. Direct deposit security, New multi-step verification to prevent benefit theft. Among all the rule changes taking effect on January 1st, few are as critical or as overlooked as the new requirements related to direct deposit verification. Social Security has long encouraged beneficiaries to receive payments electronically, not only for convenience, but because paper checks are more vulnerable to theft and fraud. However, in recent years, criminals have increasingly targeted seniors by rerouting Social Security deposits into unauthorized bank accounts. These scams often go undetected until the beneficiary suddenly notices their monthly payment is missing, sometimes after months of financial disruption. To combat this, the SSA is implementing a strict, multi-layered verification process for any direct deposit changes, whether it's switching banks, updating account numbers, or adding a new financial institution. Here is what beneficiaries should expect. First, every change must be confirmed through the new login.gov authentication system. Second, the beneficiary must verify the new banking information through a secondary confirmation, often involving the bank itself, to ensure the account truly belongs to the intended recipient. Third, certain changes may require temporary holds while the system verifies identity, ownership, and authenticity. While these measures may add a few extra steps, they are designed to protect seniors from some of the fastest growing financial crimes in America. A single fraudulent redirect can mean losing an entire month or multiple months of income. In our next section, we shift focus to a major challenge for new applicants: the stricter documentation rules that now govern all Social Security benefit applications. Stricter documentation rules for new applicants. For Americans preparing to apply for Social Security benefits in 2025, the landscape is changing in a substantial way. The January 1st rule shift brings far stricter documentation requirements, tightening a process that many already found challenging. In the past, applicants could submit photocopies or digital images of essential documents, and the SSA would often accept them for initial processing, but that flexibility is gone. Beginning January 1st, the agency will accept only original or certified copies of key documents. That includes birth certificates, marriage certificates for spousal benefits, proof of citizenship or lawful residency, and detailed work histories supported by W-2s or recent tax returns. This change aims to eliminate errors and fraudulent claims, but it creates new responsibilities for applicants, especially seniors who may have difficulty locating decades-old documents or those who must travel to a Social Security office to present paperwork in person. What makes this shift even more important is timing. Under the new regulations, applications cannot move forward until all required documents are submitted and verified. Missing even one item may cause delays stretching several weeks or even months. For individuals counting on benefits to begin at a certain date, such delays can create real financial pressure. The advice from analysts is clear: start gathering documents early, long before you plan to file. In the next part, we dive into how the SSA is reshaping the claiming decision itself, especially for those considering taking benefits early at age 62. New requirements for early claiming decisions at age 62. Claiming Social Security is one of the most significant financial decisions older Americans will ever make. And beginning January 1st, the SSA is adding a new layer of accountability to this process, particularly for those who choose to start benefits at age 62. While the decision to claim early remains entirely optional, the agency now requires applicants to formally acknowledge that they have reviewed the long-term financial consequences of taking benefits before reaching full retirement age. This means seniors must confirm that they understand early claiming results in a permanent reduction in monthly payments, often 25% to 30% less for life, compared to waiting until full retirement age or age 70. The SSA is not trying to discourage early claiming. Rather, it wants to ensure that beneficiaries aren't making decisions in the dark, pressured by misinformation, or unaware of the lifetime impact. Many seniors underestimate how long they may live or how medical expenses may increase in advanced age. As a result, early claiming can inadvertently limit financial stability later in life. Under the new rule, applicants must complete an educational review, either online or in person, before their claim is processed. This step ensures informed consent and prevents costly mistakes that cannot be reversed after the 12-month withdrawal window has passed. Next, we turn to another sensitive area undergoing reform: documentation and proof requirements for spousal, divorced, and survivor benefits. Spousal, divorced, and survivor benefits. Tighter proof requirements. Among the most sensitive and emotionally significant aspects of Social Security are the benefits tied to marriage, spousal benefits, divorced spouse benefits, and survivor benefits. Starting January 1st, these areas fall under much stricter proof and documentation rules, as the SSA works to prevent fraudulent claims and ensure that payments reach those who are genuinely eligible. For spousal benefits, applicants must now provide clear, certified documentation confirming both the validity and duration of the marriage. Even if a beneficiary has previously received spousal benefits, the new regulations may require updated records to verify identity and entitlement. This includes certified marriage certificates, not photocopies, and, in some cases, additional verification if the marriage occurred outside the United States. For divorced individuals, the threshold is even more precise. The marriage must have lasted at least 10 years, and proof of both the marriage and the divorce must be submitted in certified form. Many applicants underestimate how often paperwork gets lost, mismatched, or inconsistently filed across states. Under the new rules, incomplete documentation can stop an application entirely. Survivor beneficiaries, widows and widowers, must now provide certified death certificates and may also be required to disclose subsequent marriages that could impact eligibility. These added layers of verification are designed to prevent fraudulent claims, which have increased nationally over the last decade. In the next segment, we examine a process that affects countless seniors every year: the new, more stringent requirements for filing appeals when a claim is denied or a benefit calculation is disputed. A new appeals process. Faster digital filing but stricter requirements for many Social Security beneficiaries. The appeals process is a lifeline. Whether a benefit calculation seems incorrect, an application was denied, or important documentation was misunderstood, the ability to appeal ensures fairness within the system. But beginning January 1st, that process undergoes major structural changes, changes that will affect every claimant who needs to challenge an SSA decision. Under the new regulations, the 60-day window to file an appeal remains unchanged, but how appeals must be filed is significantly different. The SSA now requires most appeals to be submitted through the online system, authenticated by login.gov. This digital filing requirement is designed to speed up processing, reduce paperwork delays, and establish a secure, trackable pathway for every step of an appeal. Paper appeals will still be accepted, but with a warning: they may face much longer processing times, potentially delaying decisions by several months. For seniors whose only income is Social Security, waiting even a few extra weeks can create severe financial strain. When rent is due, when medication bills arrive, when groceries need to be purchased, delays are not a minor inconvenience. They are a direct threat to financial stability. Additionally, the new system requires more detailed documentation at the time of filing rather than allowing supplemental information to be added later. This means beneficiaries must be prepared, organized, and ready to submit complete records on day one. In the next section, we turn to a group that plays a crucial role for many vulnerable seniors: representative payees, who now face heightened oversight and stricter reporting obligations. Representative payees, stronger oversight to protect vulnerable beneficiaries. Representative payees, individuals authorized to manage Social Security benefits on behalf of someone unable to handle their own financial affairs, play an essential role in the lives of millions of older Americans and individuals with disabilities. Beginning January 1st, these payees will operate under much stricter oversight as the SSA implements new measures to safeguard beneficiaries from misuse, neglect, or financial exploitation. Under the updated rules, every representative payee must now complete annual online training modules designed to ensure they understand their responsibilities, legal obligations, and ethical duties. This training is mandatory, not optional, and failure to complete it can result in removal from the role. In addition, representative payees must submit enhanced annual accounting reports detailing exactly how Social Security funds were spent. These reports must include proof of expenditures, living expenses, and savings, ensuring that every dollar is used for the beneficiary's care and well-being. The SSA will also conduct more frequent and more detailed reviews of payee arrangements. This includes random audits, interviews with beneficiaries, and verification of receipts or financial statements. These changes come after years of rising concerns about elder abuse, financial exploitation, and improper use of benefits by individuals holding payee authority. For families with an honest and dedicated representative payee, these rules provide reassurance and protection. But for those in risky or vulnerable situations, the new system creates a stronger safeguard than ever before. In the next section, we shift our focus to another group affected by the rule changes: Americans receiving Social Security while living abroad. New rules for Americans living abroad: annual verification and location restrictions. A significant but often overlooked group affected by the January 1st rule changes are the hundreds of thousands of Americans who receive Social Security benefits while living outside the United States. Whether they've retired overseas, relocated for family reasons, or simply chosen a different lifestyle abroad, these beneficiaries now face new annual verification requirements. Under the updated regulations, international beneficiaries must complete an annual foreign enforcement questionnaire, confirming their current address, living status, and contact information. Failure to return this form, whether due to mailing delays, misunderstanding, or simple oversight, will result in automatic suspension of benefits until verification is completed. This is a critical shift, as many seniors living abroad rely entirely on these monthly payments. Additionally, the SSA has revised the list of countries where payments can legally be sent. A handful of nations have been removed due to diplomatic concerns, unstable banking systems, or risks associated with international money transfers. Beneficiaries living in or planning to move to these restricted locations must now verify whether their new residence remains eligible for Social Security payments. The new rules also require international beneficiaries to maintain updated contact information, recognizing that overseas communication can be slow and unreliable. A missed letter or outdated address can easily lead to suspended payments, often without the beneficiary realizing what happened. In our final section, we bring everything together and explain the real-world consequences of missing these deadlines and the urgent steps every senior should take before January 1st arrives. The consequences of inaction and the steps seniors must take now. As we reach the end of this comprehensive breakdown, one message stands above all others. The January 1st Social Security rule changes leave no room for delay, confusion, or hesitation. Every requirement, from identity verification to login.gov access to documentation updates, has real and immediate consequences for millions of older Americans. Failure to complete the new verification process could result in being locked out of your online account, unable to update payment information or view essential records. Missing earnings reports or failing to confirm COLA notices can lead to suspended benefits. And for those living abroad or relying on representative payees, the new oversight rules add layers of compliance that must be taken seriously. When Social Security payments stop, even for a short period, the ripple effects can be devastating. Seniors may fall behind on rent, be unable to purchase medication, or face gaps in utilities and groceries. Restarting suspended benefits is not quick. It often requires extensive documentation, weeks of review, and months of waiting. But the good news is this: every issue these new rules could create can be prevented by taking action early. Create your login.gov account, complete identity verification, gather original documents, update direct deposit information if needed, ensure all earnings and addresses are reported correctly. These steps are the key to uninterrupted financial stability. Social Security is earned, it is essential, and it must be protected. By preparing now, seniors can enter the new year with clarity, confidence, and the assurance that their benefits will continue without disruption.